Hello Penguinauts, I'm the Biddy Penguin and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Space Race. Today we are launching our very first level 3 launch with a very ambitious mission to the moon. Now we've got a few contracts ore related, and obviously we need ore in our moon space station, so I thought, you know what, we're just going to bite the bullet and we're going to send a level 3 launch to the moon with the capability to mine ore, refuel itself and take it to the moon station orbiting in low equatorial orbit, and we're going to fill it up with ore, we're going to refuel, and we're going to hop around the moon and get all of the science, because you know what, the kiddie gloves are off. We want to get to this warp drive, we want to destroy Tape, we want to make him feel humiliated, and also because we kind of want to get to the new series, because the next series, oh, it's going to be great. I know Tape is very excited about it, I'm very excited about it, and actually we need some help. Now I'm going to give you a basic overview. It is a new war series, it's got very, very different rules to collaborative warfare, so we'll be launching lots of stuff. It's only in a small area of Kerbin. We're using Vessel Mover and Hyper Edit, so we don't have to make like massively long journeys. Well, we are making long journeys, but you know, we're using those within a certain rule set, so you can move things a certain distance each turn using fuel, which means it's mainly about the battles, and it's going to be all about, you know, the strategy and design of our crafts, and not, you know, how much patience you have, which collaborative warfare is kind of about, let's be honest. And it's also kind of dead now. I mean, there's only so many times you can watch a plane shoot missiles at a target from 8 kilometers away before it gets a little repetitive and boring, and with how infrequently it comes out, you know what, just new series, it's going to be amazing. We're not necessarily cancelling collaborative warfare, but you know, we think this is going to be a vastly superior series. But anyway, so it starts in late World War I era, so 1918, and the technology finishes at the end of World War II, so very basic jet-powered aircraft. And we actually need your help. See, we need names, and that's lots of names. We need a name for the series, because we just can't come up with one. We considered World War K, but I think that might already be taken. I actually thought, oh, Kerbal Thunder, and then it turns out SW Dennis has already done that, you bastard. So we need a name for the series. We also need names for bases, because well, Tape, what we're doing is we've got an area which we're going to use, and Tape is filling that with bases, and we need names for those bases. And we also have cities. We'll have separate rules, and we're going to have city sieges, we're going to have bombing, all sorts of cool stuff. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love this. But we need names for cities, names for bases. We need names for nations, first of all, because Tape, I think he wants it to spell Tape, but I don't think that's entirely necessary. And I need a name for my nation. Now, I'm not entirely sure what kind of nation I might go for. I mean, I considered going for a USSR kind of inspired things, you know. Hello, comrade, welcome to whatever, I don't know. So we'll do something. Well, it would be quite funny to base it off of a real life country. I think Tape might be going for America, so things might get pretty racist, but I don't know, it'll be funny, so it's fine if it's funny, it's fine. Nobody cares if you take the piss out of Americans, apart from Americans. Well, I'm British, I'm allowed to take the piss out of Americans. You relate to both world wars, you bastards. Anyway, so yeah, if you have any ideas for what kind of country I should have, or names, as I said, lots of names, I need your help. So yes, give us a name for the series, because we really can't think of one. But on to today's mission. So we're landing in the polar crater, because we've never been there before, and there's also a load of ore, so it'll be easy to refuel. So this is our first stop. We're not too worried about filling up the station with ore just yet. It is mainly about science, because we want to get to that warp drive and beat Tape. So this is nuclear powered, and its thrust to weight ratio isn't amazing, so we do need to start the burn pretty damn early in order to slow it down. But this is the most efficient way of doing things. But jeez, this is a heavy lander, and we do have some problems when we fill it up with ore later on, as you will see. But yeah, we're just bringing it down. It does take a long time. We've got the information from Kerbal Engineer, so the suicide burn estimates and stuff, just to help us do this as efficiently as possible, and we're just bringing ourselves onto the ground. Now, of course, when we take off, we're going to have to do a big inclination change, because we want to dock to the station, but we can fully refuel now we're on the surface, but it's going to take a little while. So we just set the surface harvesters going. We got these massive solar panels in order to power those, because they do use a lot of juice, and then we're just going to get out, do our science, you know, plant a flag, the usual stuff, and then we're just going to leave it because it takes quite a while to fully refuel this and fill up all the ore tanks, despite the fact that the drills are operating at 100%. It just takes a while. These things, you can't really rush them. But anyway, some of you might be wondering, Beardy, why haven't you been making many videos recently? Because I did disappear for about 2 weeks. And see, there's this thing, and a few of you may have heard of it. It's called Life, right? And it's something that people seem to assume that YouTubers don't have. Well, I don't have a life really, but but no. I went on a cadet camp, an army cadet camp, up in Cumbria. Sorry, I heard so many people with you know, North Yorkshire and northern accents that I can do it pretty well now. But yeah, I was on an army cadet camp, which was really fun, but also extremely exhausting. So it's taken about half of this week to actually get enough energy back in order to actually make a video. So yeah, so obviously I was gone. I was up in Cumbria, and now I'm back. But I do have a very busy summer ahead of me, so there will be gaps in the upload schedule. I'm not Tape. I don't record, you know, spend hours and hours like binge recording to create loads of videos to try and keep you guys entertained. Although I might do that when I go on holiday. I don't know. But it is a busy summer ahead of me. I've got a lot of stuff planned, so whether videos are going to come out regularly, it's a bit hit or miss. I have no idea. We're just going to have to wait and see, really. So just try and be patient with me. That's good water. Because it is actually quite hot at the moment. England is actually having decent-ish weather. I say decent-ish because we have beautiful weather, then terrible storms, and beautiful weather, then terrible storms. We've had so many storms, it's actually ridiculous. I don't think we've ever had this many. But it's pretty interesting. Is it just me that likes sitting indoors while there's a storm outside? I just love sitting inside while it storms outside. I don't know, it's really relaxing for some reason. I don't know if that makes me weird. You're probably wondering what we're launching right now, though, and we have a contract to make another station. So we just named it Calumet 2, and we just sent it up in an SSTO. So it needs a science lab, so we brought up 2 scientists and the usual station requirements. It only needs space for 6 Kerbals, so that's obviously what we brought up. So we just sent it up, and I thought, okay, there we go. That's just going to require 1 launch, and that's all fine. Slight problem. I want to use this as a science lab, but I only have 2 tiny solar panels on it, which uses far more power than we actually have. Now, in hindsight, I almost certainly should have just rendezvoused with Calumet 1 and docked to it, because with its gigantor solar arrays, it would have provided all the power we would have needed. But I'm an idiot, so I didn't even think of that, and I sent up another module. But hindsight is a powerful thing, isn't it? But it doesn't really matter. I mean, we wouldn't have made a huge difference if we had used this for something else. But yeah, so we're just sending up a small little module, a power module, just with a lot of electric charge, so it can be in the night time for a while, and also some giant solar arrays, so that we can satisfy the power needs of that laboratory. I mean, surely they could just cut down their power needs or something. They just do research. You don't have to be messing around with creating warp bubbles or whatever, even though that is exactly what they're probably doing in there, which of course NASA is actually trying to create warp bubbles on a microscopic level to test whether the Alcubierre drive is actually possible. I mean, there are loads of people who say that it definitely should be possible. There are other people saying there's plenty of reasons why it might not be possible. We just have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, as usual, there's the never-ending catchphrase: more research is needed. But that would be pretty awesome, wouldn't it, if they got the Alcubierre drive working? I mean, if they did, that would just revolutionize everything. Jeez. But I mean, yeah, they had the prototype for the IXS. Was it IXS Explorer or something? No, IXS Enterprise, wasn't it? That was it. The NASA like warp ship design, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I just really want it to work. If it's impossible, then I'm just gonna get really sad, because we're never gonna go to other stars, and Now I'm depressed. Anyway, so yeah, we're just bringing this up to Calumet 2. As I said, I don't know why I didn't just dock Calumet 2 to Calumet 1, but I guess, you know, I wanted 2 separate stations, so it doesn't matter. And we get paid a lot for building this station, and as I said, we're far more about the science than the money at this point, because we want to beat Tape to that warp drive. So, you know what? If our scientists need more power to test their warp technology in orbit, then you know what? Who are we to not give them that extra power? So that's exactly what we're going to do. Besides, I mean, Calumet 1 is an international space station, and I guess we want to be doing our warp research in secret, don't we? We don't want Tape stealing the secrets of our beautiful warp drive, because of course, you know, a lot of secret stuff actually happened with the Salyut stations in real life. One of them even had a bloody machine gun on it. It was unmanned because I didn't know how it would actually affect the station firing a machine gun in space. But seriously, one of the Salyut stations, I've forgotten which one it was, had a machine gun for shooting down, I guess, I don't even know. Why would you put a machine gun on a space station? Bloody Ruskies. Yeah, we build strong space stations, strong as bull, friend. Yes. Oh, crazy Ruskies. Gotta love them though. Well, unless you're American. Bloody Americans. Anyway, I have been told actually I can do a lot of pretty good accents, and I live in, obviously you know I'm English, but I swear England has got the most different accents in a small area of any country, surely. Because I mean you've got London. Gavner, hello Gavner. You've got, well, I guess whatever I'm speaking, I don't know. I'm a sort of cross between Midlands and a Southern softie. Yum 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 yum. But then you've got Birmingham. You've got Yorkshire. Hello, I'm from Yorkshire. Yorkshire Pud. Got Ireland. Tapping around here. I am from Ireland. I'm not entirely sure if that's Ireland or Northern Ireland accent, because they do sound slightly different. They do have 2 accents. You got Scotland, hey Scotland. You got Wales, Blade Cymru, Party of Wales. What else you got? You got West Country, Somerset. I like my farming tractor, combine harvester. I'm one of the Wurzels. You are. Sorry, I've probably offended so many people. But you see what I mean? Like, why does England have so many different accents? It's obviously you've also got your Chav accent as well. In it, bruv. I can't do a Chav accent. I'm sorry. I'll just go die. But yeah, like why? Why do they have so many different accents? And it's, I know America has different accents. And obviously we're not the only country that has different accents within it. But in America, obviously the distances are much larger. In England is, well, Britain I should say. Britain is about the size of bloody Texas, isn't it? So, I don't know. But anyway, we've docked our module on, and we have a bit of an explosive separation. We almost crash into the module, but RCS saves us just in time. And there we go, we have a bunch of battery packs, also a bunch more life support, because I don't think, I did put a lot on, but just in case we need more. So we can leave this up forever, for the rest of eternity. You will research that warp drive until we have a warp drive, you bastards. Yeah, so we're going to leave them up there too. The only way they can come back down is when they research the warp drive. Be like, yeah, yeah, so you're either gonna get us a warp drive or you're gonna run out of life support. Whichever comes first! You come down when we say you come down. Sorry, I'm definitely not an evil Soviet, I promise. But anyway, yet again, we have the interesting dilemma of how to return to Kerbin, because I really haven't perfected this yet. Tape is pretty good at returning his stuff, apart from when they explode or when he runs out of life support, like in Apollo 10. So now I'm not the only person who's run out of life support. And also killed an orange suit, so there you go. I guess Tape's got some Soviet in him as well, but I just cannot re-enter with these reusable space planes, because the cockpit always overheats. And I guess I go in at a much too steep an angle or something, and so it heats up too much. And then I try to slow down a little bit, and I always end up flipping out. So I try to pull up slightly, and there you go, flipped out. Tailplane explodes, and we're back into a tumble. This happens every single time. And it was quite funny when a lot of people pointed out when I was rambling about Brexit last time. I was talking about stability, and I wasn't even paying attention to the video, and I was talking about stability, and there's this space plane like exploding in the background, and like half its wing blown off. I think that's just probably definitely intentional. You know, it was meant to reflect. Reflect the Brexit vote. Although I was quite surprised in that video. I expected massive flame wars, but pretty much apart from one or two, I mean, you're always going to have a couple people like, you're an idiot, all Brexit voters, you're all dumb. But no, like the majority of you were actually really mature about it. You're like, oh well, yeah, I do agree with you, Beardy. Yeah, Beardy, good idea. Or you know, Beardy, I can't agree with you on this. Here are the reasons why. And yeah, that's fine because obviously it wasn't a black and white issue, and it's not a matter of if you support one side, you're an idiot. It's a matter of whatever your opinion is. It's not as simple as a bloody witch hunt on YouTube, okay? Some people do need to grow up about that. And you guys are actually really mature about it. So I had some people like, oh, Beardy, hi, you're going to get flame warden. No, it actually wasn't. So you guys are awesome. I love you. I actually went to hug my microphone. That's a bit sad, isn't it? Yeah, okay, let's forget that happened. Anyway, so Daedalus, which is heading to Moho, I decided when it got to its inclination change, I realised that if we did a pretty big manoeuvre that we have enough Delta V to do, we could actually get to Moho within 13 days, which means we will beat Tape to Moho, and I really would like to beat Tape to some stuff, because he claims that he landed on Minmus first, even though he didn't, the bastard. So you know what, I decided just, enough is enough. We're going to get somewhere first, damn it. So we're definitely going to get to Moho first now. Haha! So you get Tape. And so there we go. We got 13 days. Sadly, that means that we do intercept Moho 3 days into Tape's next turn. So if Tape manages to get to Moho within 3 days of his turn starting, then he can beat us. I imagine him just spending all of his Delta V, even his landing fuel, just to go on a super high energy trajectory just to beat us there. I could so imagine him doing that. But hopefully we can beat him there, which would be quite nice. He will be the first to land something on it though, because obviously we didn't send the lander. But yeah, I think getting into orbit first will be nice enough. Anyway, so back to the Zvezda. I didn't actually tell you what it's called. It's called Zvezda, which was the name of a Soviet plan to make a moon base. Although this obviously isn't a moon base, but it's close enough. Yeah, I realised our thrust to weight ratio is not good, is it? We really struggle to lift off, and we're really struggling to get into orbit. And it is at this point I realised I'm going to run out of fuel before I get anywhere near orbit. So, unfortunately, I decided, we're going to have to jettison some of this ore. So we jettisoned about 600 units of it, and that made a massive difference. We can now actually get up into orbit, because we need to dock with the stations, and we've done all our science in the polar crater. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dock with Munmir, and we're going to dump off all our ore. So I think our priority now should be fill up the station with ore, complete the station contract, and then we'll just be using the ore for refueling. And I also found out I can't turn off on the ISRUs while I'm firing the engines. It turns the engine throttle really low down. I'm not entirely sure why that is. It's a bit weird. But anyway, thanks to the moon's relatively low gravity, 2 nuclear engines is just about enough to get us into orbit around the moon. So we do ourselves an inclination change. We do have to use the ISRUs to convert a little bit of ore into fuel, because we burnt off enough. But we save 1,000 units for the station. So that's pretty good. I mean, considering that we had to do a huge inclination change and stuff, 1,000 units isn't bad. But there is another patch of ore which is almost as concentrated as that polar crater, which is on the equator, which means that then we can use far less fuel, just hopping down, filling up on ore and fuel, jumping up to the station, and using that we can actually refuel the station, fill the station up with fuel, and we can use it as a fueling outpost for any future missions. Although, to be honest, I think the amount of fuel required to get into moon orbit might make it completely pointless to have a refueling station there. I don't know, maybe we'll move it around Kerbin in future. But we've got a load of ore contracts, as well as the filling up the station with ore. We also have to move 600 units of ore into Kerbin orbit, or from the moon. So once we've filled up the station with ore and we completed our station contract, we will definitely do that contract as well. And then we can use the Zvezda just for the simple purpose of getting us all the science in. Well, I was going to say the world, but it's on the moon, isn't it? So in the universe, Well, it's not all the science in the universe because we haven't invented the warp drive yet. God damn it, people on Calyot 2. You better finish that warp drive or you're not coming home. Anyway, I promise I'm not an evil Soviet. Definitely. Definitely, I definitely promise. Although I might be an evil Soviet in the new series. Depending on what you guys vote for in the comments. Please do come up with a name, which, we just can't think of a bloody name for it. It's like, remember, so World War 1, World War 2 era sort of things. And it's just between two small nations. And we just can't think of a good name, man. It's difficult. I mean, I don't think Collaborative Warfare is a particularly good name, but I mean, it is technically in the same world as Collaborative Warfare, but we're not going to call it like Collaborative Origins or anything dumb, because people might be driven away from it, or maybe driven towards it, I don't know, but it's going to be freaking awesome. I talk about it a lot, but it's going to be so cool, damn it! Tape is currently building all the bases with the Kerbal constructs. So Tape had to learn a little bit of Kerbal constructs, but he's currently working on all the bases and stuff. And what am I doing? Not much. I guess I came up with the idea for it, and I'm picking the mods, and I'm doing all that kind of stuff, and coming up with all the rules. And Tape's then doing all the handiwork, like making the bases and the cities and all that good stuff. But yeah, we did cut this very far, and as I said, we converted about 100 units. We converted some ore into about 100 units of fuel, so we could just about finish this. And there we go, just pulling into the Munmir station, which someone has pointed out is just a bunch of planes bolted together. Yes, it is just a bunch of planes bolted together, but you know what? As long as it works, you know. Russian technology isn't known for being particularly form over function. It's very much function over form. While I was on camp, actually, I got to handle an AK-47, automatic Kalashnikov 47. The gun. Well, it's not a gun, it's a rifle. It's a rifle. Don't say gun. Like, seriously, people on soldiers, if you call a rifle a gun, they get so pissed at you. They're like, the Navy has guns. We have rifles. Thank you very much. They get really, really salty over it. Well, rightfully so. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, it'd be like calling a Northern Irishman an Irishman. You know, it's just like, you can't do it. You can't do it. But yeah, do not call a rifle a gun around a member of military personnel. But anyway, so I actually got to handle an AK-47, which was pretty cool. And the person who's showing us a bunch of different weaponry was like, yeah, the only reason this exists is because it's practically indestructible. It's not particularly accurate or anything. It's just that you can drop it in a lake and leave it there for a week, come back, and it will still fire stuff. It's just such a robust weapon. We also got to look at an Uzi as well. And the person showing us the weapons described it as the worst weapon ever invented. And you see in movies people holding them on the side and shooting people, shooting bare fools, bruv. Yeah, it doesn't work like that. It is really heavy and it's full of ridiculous amounts of recoil. It heats up. It's just a terrible weapon. The Uzi is horrible. And if you think you could hold it on the side and shoot bare people, bruvs, no, not gonna happen. It's too heavy, too much recoil, it overheats, and also if you hold it on your side, you're gonna just get all the casings in your face. So why on earth it was invented, I do not know. It's got all the problems of being a pistol and all the problems of being an automatic weapon. It's just like, just go home, Czech Republic. You're drunk. Is it? No, it wasn't the Czech Republic that made it. Was it? Was it the Czech Republic? Who made the Uzi? Oh crap! No, it wasn't. Why did I say Czech Republic? Oh no! Oh, it's gonna know. People are gonna tell me in the comments. So I have to go Google it. It's an Israeli weapon. There you go. Uzi, Israel. Yeah, I don't know what. Where did Czech Republic come from? I guess I've just been doing a lot of things to do with post-World War II history recently, so for some reason Czech Republic is just ingrained into my mind, so I think everything is the Czech Republic. But yeah, even though we've got science from this is the Far Side crater, even though we've got science from here before, we're just grabbing all the science anyway, because we might put a science lab onto the station, and it doesn't matter whether you've got the science before or not, you still get data from things when you put them into a science lab. So that's what we're doing, just grabbing a load of data, just in case. Well, I'm pretty sure we will put a science lab onto Munmir, because why not, Munmir produces so much science, and Calyot 2 is going to produce us quite a bit of science as well. But there we go, we've landed, and we're going to start refueling for next turn. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.